Hello, hello, hello. Guess who's back? Finally, after all this time, yes, it's the GeekD podcast, and we are back. Um, won't
My
make any commitments.
my fault.
Well, no, come on, dude, you were sick. Well, we always know you're sick, but
Sick.
you
Yeah,
you were.
but no, I've been sick for nearly 3 weeks straight now. I missed two shows because I was sick. Today really is the first day where well, not really the first day, but the first day that we're doing a show that I have a voice and I can actually complete a sentence without doing, 30 seconds of coughing between every fourth word.
By the
So,
way, just so we understand, you're in a hospital right now, right?
yes, my office is actually in. I have space in the administrative section of a hospital. Yes.
God damn.
So that's kind of where the reason I got space here for my work is because a lot of my clients are doctors, medical, that sort of stuff, and a lot of them are actually have offices also inside this hospital. So it kind of makes sense to be where they are, at least for a lot of them, rather than being anywhere else in the town.
By the way, you know the only thing worse than cold coffee?
Is
Warm decaf coffee.
why the hell are you drinking decaf?
Because my roommate bought it on sale.
That's no excuse. Sale is never an excuse to
I
buy
know. I know.
It's like non-alcoholic beer. I mean,
What the fuck's the point?
decaffeinated coffee and non-alcoholic beer, two things I could never ever wrap my mind around.
You know, I wasn't really gonna talk about this on the show, but I cannot help it. I cannot help it because we talked a little bit before the show about the normals that we find on Facebook. Okay, those people that believe everything that comes through Facebook.
It was on Facebook. It must be true. It was on the news. It must be true. It was in a newspaper. It must be true.
My roommate is one of those people.
I'm sorry for you, man.
Like, the whole FEMA camp thing that spreads through, Facebook every once in a while.
FEMA camps and
Yeah.
population control.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they're
yeah, 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 yeah.
deliberately trying to kill us all off.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's her. Like,
See, I'm pre-show I said, so she's one of those conspiracy theorist nut jobs, and you said, no, she's not.
I really, in all honesty, for my own sanity, when she starts off on this shit, I just,
For your own sanity, I hope she doesn't watch the show.
well, no, she doesn't. Like, her extent of the internet is Facebook and probably Plenty of Fish. Like, she doesn't even have a Twitter. Like, no idea how to work that one. But
Dude, it's amazing how many people don't have Twitters.
I know. And you know where I'm finding this the most? It's really, really weird. It's in gamers. Gamers don't like or use Twitter. Now,
Twitter kind of lost its edge.
I don't think so.
Or is the problem with Twitter that when people come to it, they're like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this? Because it's not like Facebook where you easily track. I mean, you can find all your friends on Twitter and a whole lot, but it's not that same sort of, easily keep up with what's going on with friends and family. You don't kind of do that on Twitter, And Twitter is more like a stream of just shite that you jump into and jump out of, and you don't try to keep up with. And I wonder if, like, the short form nature of Twitter isn't actually a problem for mainstream adoption. I mean, we talked about this, way back when Twitter launched.
Mm-hmm.
That I love the short form nature of Twitter, okay? Yeah. But it's probably because I'm a windbag, and I have, it helps me think about what I want to say, and it helps me, I can just spew vitriol all day on Twitter, and I'm of the right sort of mental adjustment that I can get on there and I can just see what goes through when I'm on. And I don't care about what happened an hour ago or 2 hours ago. You know what I mean? Whereas Facebook is all about you get on there and it shows you all the stuff that you've missed. And, you know, no matter how many times you change your settings to just be recent posts, it's always what's popular in your network. I don't want that. I just want to see what's going on right now.
Yeah.
I'm a much more stream of consciousness type person. And I think that actually hinders Twitter in some way. And there's been experiments over the years to do long form content on Twitter. There's been extensions and add-on services and all that kind of crap. But I think Twitter is kind of slowly dying a slow death. And I don't know if... I mean, I know they've partnered with Google now to give them the fire hose, which means you're going to see more Twitter content in search results and stuff like that.
God.
But I don't know if it's going to be enough to bring Twitter to the next.
Well, here's the thing, and you know, I've been getting really involved in the whole, you know, Twitch streaming and gaming aspect of things. The streamers are using Twitter big time. It's a way of communicating with their followers, with their with their subscribers, and advertise, and also be in contact with game developers who are also hopping on Twitter big time. It's just the regular gamers who are going, I don't need a Twitter. What do I need a Twitter for? Fuck Twitter.
Yeah, well, you see, I think a lot of the problem, too, is, though, that you have the younger generation. They're not doing Twitter. They're not doing Facebook. They're not doing Google+. They're
doing Instagram.
Instagram and Snapchat. And
Tumblr.
And other variations of services that have a lot shorter lifespan in terms of messaging and that sort of stuff. Because, you know, my stepdaughter, for example, she doesn't even want a Facebook. Doesn't want one. None of her friends are there. Couldn't be bothered.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I mean, and that's for more than the last year, you know?
Well, I've known that Facebook is not really the big favorite for teenagers and younger.
Well, I wonder what that means for Facebook, right? Because if you think about it, like Facebook has reached market saturation in Western countries. There's no two ways about it. So Facebook has to push into other areas, India,
Asia,
China. Yes, there's a huge population that they can bring in to grow the service. But you have to, I don't care who you are, you kind of have to accept the fact that in those countries, they're going to run up against two problems. One, there's all these cool competing services.
Yep.
Snapchat, etc. So they're not going to win as much of the population. And two, you have to acknowledge that they're going to hit the same problem in those countries once they hit saturation as they have in Western countries. Which means you can really start to limit the lifespan of Facebook as a profitable company, or at least as a company with any ability to find growth, because there's only going to be, you know, for people who say, they're going to grow into mobile, that's the same fucking user base, right? It's just whether they're on a desktop or they're on a mobile app. Which raises some interesting questions as to where is Facebook going to go?
I know. What would a post-Facebook internet be like?
Happier, much happier, because everybody's website would load without them damn bloody widgets, which we pretty much have to have these days.
I know. Like, I remember when sharing was basically you had an RSS feed and you had an email button, and that was it.
That's it, you know. But I mean, I don't know, RSS feed, man. I am so bummed that RSS has just been kind of,
I know,
put to the wayside. And what people don't seem to understand is, you know, all these services wherein you can subscribe to content from your favorite websites, it's all still mostly powered by RSS.
Yes, it is.
You know, and okay, so we've got some other technologies thrown on top of it, like, you know, PubSub Hubbub or whatever they call it, so that
you push out sooner.
Instead of waiting for the RSS to be pulled, you know, it pushes out to the hub, so the services know content has gone up. And, you know,
But even that's been deprecated.
That's kind of been deprecated, especially, I mean, what can you do when you've got like 75 million websites running WordPress and half of them are running Jetpack and they all have this thing now that just like pings out to the big services? The problem that I'm seeing, and it kind of worries me, is that we're building, even with open source projects like WordPress, we're building a lot of lock-in to a handful of services.
Yeah.
You know, like Jetpack has publicized, but it goes to what? It goes to Facebook, it goes to Twitter, it goes to LinkedIn, it goes to Tumblr, and maybe one or two other places. Excuse me, I'm going to cough. It goes to maybe one or two other places. And
I tried.
Have unified sharing API.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That is for all platforms. Because every platform has its own damn API to share to. We should have a unified one, and you could just plug it in sort of anywhere. You know?
I tried, I had Jetpack installed on all my stuff, and I'm slowly pulling it out. I just don't see the need and the need for that lock-in that it's giving you, because everything has to go through WordPress. I don't like that.
I install it on all my sites and I install it on all my client sites, but I go in and I turn off the vast majority of the features. Okay, like for example, a lot of clients don't want to spend the money on a CDN. You know.
Yeah.
So install Jetpack and turn on Photon, and at least their image serving is coming from WordPress's CDN. You know what I mean? And you know, Jetpack now also has security features that replace the limit login attempts plugin. You know, and there's a few other bits and pieces inside Jetpack that are actually worth turning on. But for two reasons. One, that there's just maybe too many features inside Jetpack that are turned on by default that aren't necessarily handy. And two, Jetpack is becoming, I don't know if people realize it or not, but Jetpack is becoming a resource hog for people who are on shared hosting environments.
Oh, yeah.
Which is why you need to go in and turn off things. Like, you wouldn't think it, but just turning off the WordPress notifications that are turned on by default when you install Jetpack and show up in that black WordPress bar when you're logged. Just turning that off creates a fairly significant performance boost that I've seen in some hosting environments. There's not half, you know, it reduces the amount of, say, 500 server errors.
Yeah.
You know? So if you go in and turn off like turn off everything you do not need.
Yeah, see, but the thing is, I've basically found that I don't, even turning it off, like, but you still got this massive thing that gets, and whenever they update it with new ones, it's, you know, it's a pain in the ass. It's another set of passwords to remember. It's another set of headaches. Whereas, you know, you pick the features you want and you fill those holes with really good plugins that do an excellent job. Well, that to me is.
You see, I understand where you're coming from, and in an ideal world, for the likes of me to have, you know, I can. If there's a problem with a plugin, if there's something in WordPress, in Jetpack, yes, I can find a plugin that does it. You know, and if that plugin stops being developed, the chances are that 99% of the time, you know, I can replace it, or if need be, keep it up to date, at least for my site, even if I don't push it back out, right? But I can't do that with clients. I need something that is reliably maintained by the WordPress developer community. And unfortunately, unless something is maintained by the core or is maintained by Automatic, you cannot guarantee that these plugins are still going to be there next year, 6 months. And I know that, for me, that possibly means return work. But I really don't want my clients ever calling me and saying, my site has stopped working. And I'm like, well, this whole feature has to be reworked, or we've got to find a new plugin, because it's just unreliable. So that's why I go with the more sort of reliable and less work, even though there's some minor trade-offs in the sense that you got to go in and there's another username and password, and you've got to turn off X amount of features every time they damn well update. But here's the other side of it, right? I've been doing WordPress for years, right?
Yep.
Years and years. And a large part of me feels that maybe WordPress has kind of lost its way to some degree.
I definitely think it has.
And I think it's because it's living with this dichotomy of being both a CMS as well as a blog platform.
Yeah. And
the vast majority of the conversations that happen around WordPress are developers, theme developers, are people who have a shoe in terms of we want this feature, we want that. We're developers, but it's really end users with no experience that need to be driving the conversation about features, and I think that gets lost. I've had a couple of companies reach out to me recently about their Kickstarters for new platforms that really get back to the core of how do we make it just really, really easy for Joe Soap with no skill to publish.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a couple of them. There was one called Ghost. Medium was the Twitter founders.
Yeah, but self-hosted platforms. Yeah. You see, that's the thing. And, I wrote a post a couple of years ago about, if you're not technically competent enough to update WordPress and make changes, then you shouldn't be running WordPress. But the problem now is that the amount of technical competence needed has gone beyond what the average user would have. I mean, it's okay to expect somebody who is comfortable enough with a little bit of PHP, a little bit of HTML, CSS. They're comfortable enough in whatever FTP client they need to do their backups and that sort of stuff. But it shouldn't be beyond that. Whereas right now, even though, we have a laid out established that you build a theme, and if you want to make modifications to it, you do a child theme and so on. But the themes that people go out and buy, whether they're on Theme Forest or any of the Envato-driven sites or any of the sites out there, they're just, my God, you have to be a developer to understand what's going in, because you can't just go in and do a child theme or make a simple modification. And it's kind of getting ridiculous in that sense. And maybe we need to fork WordPress. Maybe WordPress needs a WordPress Lite for just bloggers. You know what I mean? For WordPress Lite and WordPress CMS. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of trying to do everything in one bag of nuts. And I don't know. I don't know why this turned into a word.
I don't know either. It just flowed. But let's shift to the other big boy that's always in the room and nobody likes anymore, and that's Microsoft. There is a rumor that Microsoft is building a Windows 10 ROM to go on Android phones.
See, that'd be a very interesting ROM, right? The problem with that is that there's just too many hardware platforms, too many too many chip types, too many hardware platforms for that ROM to be easily out there, which is why I think it's only available for like one phone right now, if it's available at all.
Yeah. It's
right?
for the Xomi.
Now, I wouldn't mind if I could put Windows Phone on, an older phone like my Nexus 4 or something. So I could at least give it a shot, I mean, from one point of view, if they released a commercially available ROM that you could download, with an installer, right?
Yep.
So it's really simple, right? Joe Soap says, right, I want to move from Android to Windows Phone. I pay Microsoft $5. I get an installer. I just hook my phone up to my computer with USB, click on the installer, and it does the rest. Next thing, you've got Windows Phone, right? That might not actually be a bad way to start winning some market, especially if you couch it to people who have older phones.
Yeah.
And you're saying, look, you don't need to upgrade your hardware to have an upgraded experience, right?
That's right.
Bang. So that's not good. It's only going to appeal, I suppose, to slightly more geeky people.
Like, I gotta admit, I would be awful.
Not a bad idea.
I would be awful tempted to put it on my Nexus 4.
It's not a bad idea, but the problem is that a lot of the best parts of the Windows Phone experience, outside of the UI, are now coming to other phones as well. Right? So, like, all the mobile Office apps are available on the other platform.
Yep. I've got mobile Office. I've got Office on my Nexus 4. I've got OneNote. I've got,
Cortana, which had me drooling over, like...
I'm pissed at Cortana right now. Okay?
Right?
I'm really pissed.
Why?
Because I got the Windows 10 preview. Right?
Yeah.
It's supposed to have Cortana in it.
Uh-huh.
Except in Canada.
Can she not understand Canadian, eh?
And I don't know why. And you know what else is really fucked up?
What's this all about, Cortana?
Yeah. What else is really fucked up? I was looking at Skype the other day for getting a Skype number, just checking it out. And everywhere but Canada. Like, what the fuck is against Canada, dudes? Like, really?
Oh, we've been debating that since... We've been debating that since forever. I've lived in multiple countries that have had all these services, and every time I've moved, you've complained that you still can't get them in Canada.
At least now we've got Spotify.
You know what? I've never gotten into Spotify, man.
I use it mainly because I can tie it into this to the stream. I can playlists and just I don't have to worry about it.
Do you know what else I've got? Just before we get on to that. But yeah, Cortana is coming to iOS, and so why the hell would I want to? You know what I mean? Unless Cortana turns out to be a resource hog on the device that I have. But it's an interesting idea with the ROMs. I mean, you on an older phone.
You've got to admit, the whole Google Now, which was supposed to be their, personal assistants.
Right? Google Now, I love fucking Google Now. I love Google Now, man.
Google Now is fucking useless.
Google Now is fucking awesome. I love Google Now, right? I open up Google Now and it gives me all the fucking information that I want, right? I just slide over. It gives me information on the topics that I'm following. It gives me the weather and the location. It finds me parking locations based on where I am. Tells me what news stories are out there to read. Tells me how long it's going to take me to get home. Just at a quick glance, it tells me when I get UPS packages at my fucking house. And anytime I get a tracking notification in my email, I don't even have to bother looking for it, because it comes up in my Google Now and it tells me when my packages are going to be there. And now that they've opened up the Google Now API,
That's going to be maybe it's saving grace.
Because like I'm already getting Hootsuite notifications inside my Google Now. Now it's not the notifications that like people are retweeting me or whatever, but like once a week or something, my Google Now it'll hook up and it'll tell me what my popular tweets were like this week and how many clicks and how many retweets and all that sort of stuff. And you know, and it works just as well as the usage that I've had with Cortana or Siri in terms of asking it questions. You know, I ask it where things are, and it tells me. You know, I ask it what cinemas are going on, what movies are going on, and it tells me. And Google Now is one of those things that it's the more you use it, the better it gets. You know, and I've been using it constantly for the past 2 years, and I'm really happy with it. I suppose the reason I want to try Cortana is because of my Halo.
Oh yeah, you're a Halo nut. And hey, listen, I may not be a Halo nut, but I want to mainly because like for once Microsoft has gone with a brand that works.
Yes.
Cortana is so well known within the Xbox community that the idea of bringing her to the desktop and to the mobile world to as your personal assistant was brilliant.
And of course, you notice the Halo influence now coming across more products too, like the Internet Explorer replacement is called Project Spartan.
Yep.
You know, which
what are they going to name that finally? I wonder.
They should just leave it as the Spartan browser. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just leave it. It's a good name. Just
take off Project. Leave Spartan. Because really, given what I've read about this browser, and I when I updated to the newest preview, I was hoping it would be in there, but it's still yet to come. It's a bare bones but fully functional, awesome browser.
Well, it's bare bones for now. You know, by the time they finally release, I assume it'll have a fair few more features. What I do like is that it's going to have the same extensibility as Chrome and Firefox.
I fucking hope. Like the biggest mistake they made with Internet Explorer is the fucking ActiveX add-ons.
Well,
that was such a pain in the ass.
ActiveX. Actually, I heard a rumor at one point that Chrome, either Chrome or Firefox extensions, I assume Firefox because Chrome is locked down differently, Chrome is sandbox differently, that Firefox extensions may actually just work.
I hope so.
You know?
I hope so. Because that's been what my, we tend to flip between browsers. Like, you know, it's like, right now Chrome is a pig. It's a pain in the ass. And I'm seriously pissed with Chrome. It really irritates my ass. So I try Firefox, and yeah, it's okay. It's better. It's for certain things.
You know, I think we've kind of come full circle with Chrome and Firefox.
Yes.
To the sense, you know, they came out and they were awesomely fast and they were brilliant and the whole lot. But now they've been around so long that they've become a victim of their own success in terms of bloat.
Well, you know what I think part of the problem with Chrome is that they've been making this move to the Blink engine away from Chromium.
Yeah.
And it's
but
I don't think it's
considerably faster.
Yeah, but I think they got problems with it.
I wonder if there's just not like if they're not just like trying to do too much inside the browser. See, the problem problem with Chrome, right, is that Chrome is not just a browser, it's a fucking platform.
I know.
Right?
It's their OS. It's the Chrome OS.
Yes, Chrome OS, right? So you've got apps and, you know, it's constantly running shit in the background unless you turn it off. I think we need a player to come on the market with a browser that is just a goddamn browser. You know what I mean?
Sure, have some extensions to make your see, that was be my, like, as I was saying, like, my big complaint is when you try and switch browsers, you got to go through this whole fucking extension hunt again. And sure, you had a lot of extensions for you know, Chrome and a lot of extensions for Firefox, but when you went into to Internet Explorer, and even up to 11, which was actually a really good browser, you know, there's a dearth.
Do you know what I'm worried about? What I'm worried about, and I'm going to say this now as a guy who does, from my professional perspective, as a guy who does a lot of network maintenance and IT stuff for medical practices that all have to be HIPAA compliant, right? There's still a lot of hospitals out there, a lot of insurance companies out there, major players, right? Billing, the whole lot, and a lot of medical software that they require
IE6.
IE6, 7, or maybe even 8.
Yeah.
Right? There's very few of them out there will operate with 9, 10 upwards, right? Now, considering, 8 is itself 6 years old.
Yes.
Right? Even like EMR and CMS vendors who do not support anything above 10, that's 2 generations back. There's known exploits that any script kiddie can run, right?
Yeah.
So they're forcing people to be non-secure with really, really important data. What the hell are they going to do when IE is no more? I mean, I assume IE is going to remain as a legacy framework.
Yeah, they've already said that. Like for the next little while, anyway, it will remain like IE 11 will remain as part of the Windows platform, but it's as far as everyday usage, and unless special cases, it's being deprecated.
Yes, but considering that these companies,
I know,
still require stuff that is 6, 7, 8 years old, which is a nightmare for me from a security perspective, because I will not run it, right? So I find myself using tools to like emulate IE7 inside Chrome or something. You know what I mean? What's going to happen? I really, really wonder whether or not, the medical community in that respect needs to take a stand and say, you know what, or not even the medical community, the government, right? The government. And I hate to bring in government regulation into this sort of stuff, but the HIPAA rules exist for a reason to protect patients' information, not just from misuse within practices, but from hackers and so on and so forth, right? But how can you be property compliant when the major vendors, when the major insurance companies require you to use ancient shit?
I know.
They need to be slapped down, not the small medical practices that are trying to keep up with this stuff,
Yeah.
And I've been in hospitals recently where, we all knew for a very, very long time that the EOL on end of life on Windows XP was coming, right? And it's been more than a year now, right? And once EOL hit for Windows XP, it immediately became a HIPAA violation if you even had it on your network, right?
Yeah.
If you were audited. But I've been in hospitals recently, where as far as only last couple of weeks, they're upgrading the XP machines. I'm like, really?
Yeah. What do you think of this move with Windows 10 being free for the first year? Brilliant.
Awesome. I also completely misrepresented by the vast majority of sites out there too, though, is that yes, pirates will be able to upgrade.
Yep.
But they're not getting feature parity with people who have full licenses. They will be able to upgrade, and then it'll be like, you need to buy an active license if you want to be able to do this.
Yes. Which is understandable, but the fact is,
right. Microsoft wants money. I mean, come on.
But here's the thing: it gets Windows 10 on machines, and that's what they want.
Well, you see, that's the problem that they've been having, right? Yeah.
You're popular this morning.
I know. It's the problem that they had. They should have done this sooner, because they learned this. XP was awesome. Vista wasn't any good until Service Pack 1, by which point it had a really bad reputation. It couldn't get people to move. Had a hard time getting people to move to Windows 7 from XP, because people were just... They've had XP forever at this point. And it just worked well, even though 7 was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
7 was great. As I've often said, 7 is the new XP.
7 is the new XP. And they've had the same problem with Windows 8, even though Windows 8 is technically faster, better, and more stable than Windows 7 on the same hardware. Yeah. The new UI screwed things up for people, right? So
which they fixed in 8.1.
Which they fixed.
But now, see, the thing is, you could buy 8 when it came out for like $45, which compared to 7, which was $145.
Yeah.
You know.
Which I did. But I would have thought that they would have learned this earlier from XP to Vista going into 7. I honestly, now, we discussed it when 8 came out that yes, they did the right thing bringing the prices down, but we also discussed when 8 came out that the right thing to do would have been to give it away for free.
Yes.
And then make your money later on. Now, what Microsoft really needs to do, though, is not just give it away for free. The damn App Store needs a serious overhaul. And here's what it needs to do. It cannot just be apps, right?
It's got to be programs.
They need to open it up to be a full
store.
My one-stop shop for anything and everything that I need for my computer, right?
Well,
open it up to freeware developers. Open it up to, if I want to buy my Photoshop through it, or I want to get, 7-zip through it. I should be able to get everything, whether it's costing me $1,000 or free.
Yeah.
And I should be able to get it all from that one store. Any developer that wants to put their stuff in there needs to be...
You see, the thing with Windows 10, what's coming along with that is what they're calling their Universal App Platform, which means developers are going to be able to very easily develop for any of the platforms, whether it be desktop, mobile, Xbox, you name it. It will all be on one platform. It's just a matter of basically a switch and a recompile. But
yeah,
here's the thing: it's all good there. It's all going to be in the store. So I think what you're saying should happen is going to start happening, because you will get desktop developers putting programs into the store.
But there's not enough going on about that right now.
No,
right?
True.
Because developers need to be putting their stuff in the store now.
Yeah.
Right now. There's no point in launching this store with 10. Launch the store now. And it doesn't matter if the app doesn't run on everything, because some apps aren't going to run on everything. I should be able to go in right now and buy Photoshop. I should be able to go in right now and download Firefox. I should be able to go in right now and, the full-blown, not these shitty desktop apps, right? And until they make that the place to get your apps, they're going to have an adoption problem.
Yes, they are. Anyway, getting on to other things. What's been on your TV plate now that you've been, sick and everything?
Not much, because, not having a voice hasn't stopped me working. Black Sails has still been on our radar. Really, really good. The Walking Dead, the second half of the season has absolutely sucked volleyballs.
See, I never got into Walking Dead. I just never could. I never enjoyed. I watched the first couple episodes, and it just No, I'm done. I don't like it.
No, you can't just watch the first couple of episodes, and you have to watch a little bit further to get into it. And so far, things have been good. Like any series that runs for a lot of seasons, you do have lulls, but this has been just shite. Agents of Shield, I've not been happy with.
No.
James almost.
See, now I haven't watched this week, so I haven't seen him come in yet.
Well, he's in it.
Yes.
Let's just say I've not been terribly impressed. James Edward almost.
Let me guess. He's playing the other Shield head. Yeah, that's what I figured they were building up to.
The real Shield.
The real Shield. Yeah.
It's been as predictable as fuck, and let's just say that villains that we previously thought were out of the series are now back.
Yeah, Ward.
Really, we've had enough of Grant Ward, and this thing between Fitz and Simmons is just getting more and more ridiculous. And of course, they keep focusing on goddamn Sky, who just needs to be dropped from the goddamn show.
Yeah, but who's going to play the Inhuman then?
We don't need one.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. That's being billed as a major connection point to the movies.
I don't care. I don't like her.
I know. I'm not particularly. I kind of ripped into her on another show during the week, but yeah, I'm not. I'm no. She's. I don't know whether it's the character or whether it's her.
It's a bit of both.
A bit of
She's
both?
weak as an actress, and the character. They try to do too much with her. They brought her from hacker to field agent. She's supposed to be like made Ninja Warrior fighter awesomeness. She's not. She's still whiny and fucking. It just doesn't work. You know what I mean?
Here's an interesting thing. They built up okay, she's the one Inhuman, and then they built up Rain
And then
as the opposite.
And they've just dropped her. There's not been a mention of her for the past
Yeah,
couple
but
of
you know where she's going?
Where?
Preacher.
Oh, that's right. Her character is going to be, or not her character, the actress is going to be, what you call her?
The female, Tulip.
Tulip in Preacher. Could they get it any more wrong?
Well, unless they dye her hair blonde.
No.
Okay, look, I'm actually holding off on any.
Tulip hair. Just no. No, 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 and no some more. And I also don't know what they're doing with this guy that they cast as Assface or Arseface or whatever the hell you call him.
Arseface.
Arseface. Obviously, this is. I looked up the guy on IMDb. Obviously, he looks nothing like who he's going to play because it's going to be all cosmetics. But Ian Coletti, I know him from absolutely nothing. I looked up his IMDb. I know him from nothing. I haven't seen any of the crap that he's been in.
No, like I said,
most notable he comes up as, for me, Kid in The Sopranos in 2000.
like I said, I'm holding off because I've got big hopes for Preacher because it's an incredible comic.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
It's the casting problems.
I know, but if they can actually get the casting to work, I'm worried it's going to be another Constantine.
Speaking of absurd casting, right?
Yes.
Let's go into other absurd things in movies. A 300 style Romeo and Juliet.
What the fuck?
You, Sony. Right? It's not bad enough that, you know, the Claire Danes, Leonardo DiCaprio one, which was actually pretty good for modern adaptation of Romeo and Juliet. But to go down the whole the whole Frank Miller 300 like Sin City, 300 and Sin City were good when they came out.
Yeah.
Right? But the format, the style has not stood the test.
No, it doesn't.
Right?
I'm still waiting to say
graphic novel conversion then.
Yeah.
But like watching the second 300 movie, there was nothing new. It was old hat. It was old format. And the only thing that it has going for it as a format is it works really. It worked well for intense, violent scenes, action scenes. Where the hell is that in Romeo and Juliet? Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? I'm here with my painted-on six-pack. I mean, no.
Did you see the second Sin City, Dame to Kill For?
I haven't, and I haven't watched it yet.
I'm still looking to get it to have a look at it. I'm kind of interested to see what they did with that. Yeah, but see, here's the thing. It's like right now you've also got competing King Arthur films.
Really?
Yes. You've got The Men at Arms to be directed by Jonathan Liebesman.
Hang on now. Jonathan Liebesman.
Yes.
The last Teenage Mutant Turtle movie.
Yes.
Battle Los Angeles.
Yes.
All right, well, that's going to suck nuts.
No shit. Now, the explanation for
Who's doing the other one?
Huh?
Who's doing the other one?
I'm not. It doesn't say. Guy Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie is doing Knights of the Round Table, King Arthur, the first in a planned franchise. Liebesman is doing Men at Arms, which
didn't Guy Ritchie do Snatch?
Yeah, but he's also done the Sherlock movies.
So Guy Ritchie did some good stuff.
Yeah, he's done some good stuff, and I've got high expectations of his.
He's also done some absolute shite.
Yeah, but Liebesman's version of Men at Arms is about an aging Lancelot that's described as being similar to Clint Eastwood's western Unforgiven. After his love affair with Guinevere destroys Camelot, Lancelot is bent on making amends for his previous wrongdoing.
I don't have words. I can only assume that this shit has gone into the public domain or something, that everybody's making them.
Yeah, I believe King Arthur, the whole Knights of the Round Table thing is in public domain.
And what's with all the Robin Hood movies currently?
None of them any good.
No. Speaking of Sherlock.
Yes.
I have actually started watching Elementary.
I'm curious, what do you think of it?
It's good.
Yes.
But it's not Sherlock Benedict.
No. Oh no, it's not. It's definitely not. And they literally made that point very clear from the very beginning. Like I watched the first 2 seasons and I like it a lot. It's just I got so much on my plate that I can't.
14 episodes. I think I'm like 12 or 14 episodes into one. And it's like...
It gets better. As good as it might be right now, it gets better.
He does a great job, but I don't... See, what sets Benedict Cumberbatch... What sets his Sherlock apart from Johnny Lee Miller's Sherlock is not just the presence of the actor, but I think in the in the British Sherlock, they spend a lot more time explaining the deduction that got there, whereas Johnny Lee Miller's Sherlock is more like, well, this is this and this is why. And you're kind of like, they just kind of rattle off the deductive reasoning really fast. And it doesn't fit as well.
What I found,
and he started on Joan Watson.
But that was a dichotomy that I really liked.
I have no problem with Watson being female. Don't get me wrong. I just don't like her.
Oh, okay, all right. But the idea that she comes into the picture as his babysitter for all intents and purposes, because of his father worried about his drug addiction and
Watson was always Sherlock's kind of babysitter to some degree.
Well, yeah, but it was more obvious in Elementary. Don't get me wrong, I liked that show, and I watched the first 2.5 seasons, but I had so much on my plate that something had to give, and that was one of the shows that went by the wayside.
I'm also not quite sure how I feel about Aidan Quinn as the police captain. I
thought he does. I always thought he did a fairly decent job of it.
He did a fairly decent job. Irish actor, I don't know.
So I gotta ask, X-Files.
I'm actually excited about the fact that they're doing 6 new episodes, if for no reason other than nostalgia. This does have the potential to be like Red Dwarf's season, the Back to Earth season, which was just like 3 or 4 short episodes before they did Red Dwarf X. To have Chris Carter on board. It's original staff, a lot of the original production crew. I just don't see how they're going to fit it into the fucking lore.
I don't know. That's going to be the interesting part. But I got to admit, if anybody's going to pull it off, it'll be Chris Carter.
Yeah, I'm excited to see them back, to see the original cast, to see Duchovny and Anderson together again. I'm trepidatious about it.
Have you
it's
watched?
Could do well, or it could suck balls.
Just as a side note, have you watched Anderson in the British series The Fall?
No, you've told me to, but I just don't have that much time.
It's awesome. She is incredible. She really, really is. As an actress, she rocks. But the other one that I really I would love to see them revisit, and that is Millennium. With Frank Black.
Millennium.
He was an FBI agent, but he was fucked. He was seriously screwed up, and it got into some really dark areas.
I don't remember it.
Oh, great series! Seriously, it was. I probably liked it almost as much, if not more, than X-Files.
Okay.
And it came out. X-Files, I think, had made the move from Vancouver to LA for production. And that's when they started working on Millennium, because it was done in Vancouver. And I think there was only 2 seasons, maybe 3, before it was canceled.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever surfaced on my radar.
Oh, you definitely. That's one to revisit.
Do you know what I am interested in now that they're starting? I think they've started to put out episodes, though. Amazon's The Man in the High Castle, based on the Philip K. Dick novels.
I have not seen that.
Yeah, Amazon original series. It's alternate history.
Yeah.
The Nazis one.
Oh yeah, okay. I remember hearing about it now. Yes.
It looks like they've started to put out episodes of that, so I'm gonna have to get on my Amazon Prime and go watch that, because that's kind of interesting.
April 10th.
What's happening?
April 10th. Daredevil, Netflix.
See, here's the problem I have now. Right, April 10th. I'm not going to have any TV in my life from like April 8th or so on for like a month or more.
Why?
Why? Because Scarlett's going to be born on the 17th. My family come over from Ireland on the 15th.
Oh, shit.
Between work commitments and the whole lot, all of my free time is going to be spent, like, you know, I'm going to have to, like, do the fucking yard and clean up and get the house ready for having a new baby in there and all that sort of stuff. So I might be a little bit behind on catching up on Daredevil.
I am looking so... The more I see... What?
I'm talking right over the top of you because something just fucking occurred to me.
What?
So, Lex Luthor...
Yeah.
Really? Mark Zuckerberg? Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. I had a conversation with this about Sarah.
Didn't you know about that?
Let's just put it out there. Everybody in the universe agrees that the new Superman movie is going to suck ass. Right? There's just no two ways about it. They're trying to cram too much in there. They're trying to set up an Aquaman movie. You've got Wonder Woman. You've got fucking Batman, Superman. Right? It's going to suck ass. There's too much going on, and you know, what's his name is getting the opportunity to screw up yet another superhero.
Chris Nolan.
Well, no. Played Daredevil in 2003.
Oh,
right. So he's getting the opportunity to screw up yet another superhero.
What, you mean Ryan Reynolds with Deadpool?
No. Who played Daredevil in the 2003 movie?
I'm lost. I don't...
He's fucking Matt Damon. Well, actually, he's fucking Jimmy Kimmel if you go by the songs, because Sarah Silverman was fucking Matt Damon. Him and Matt Damon, they're like fucking two nuts in a nutsack. They're inseparable. What the fuck? hang on. To the Googles. Fucking hell.
Chris Pine?
Ben Affleck.
Affleck. Okay.
All you have to do is type in Matt Damon's name on Google, and he's like one of the first bloody results.
Ben Affleck. Yeah. Okay.
So Ben Affleck gets a chance to fuck up yet another superhero, and now we have Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor.
Yeah, but see, the whole idea of this Superman versus Batman Dawn of Justice thing, it's the lead-in for the Justice League movies.
But here's the shit, right? We need to stop doing lead-in movies for this. Lead-in movies. I don't want a whole movie that is setting up other bloody movies. I want a self-contained fucking movie that I can enjoy on its own. And don't get me started. Don't get me started on this fucking advertising for Mission fucking Impossible, right? We're releasing teaser fucking posters saying that we're going to do a teaser poster next week.
I fucking hate that shit.
Fuck.
It's like teaser trailers for the trailer. Like, what the fuck is the point of that shit? And what really tries...
By the time they've done their teaser posters and their teaser trailers and their teaser trailers and their actual trailers, they've released the entire goddamn fucking movie. There's no point in going seeing the damn thing.
But you know what? You want to something? I put the blame for the acceptance of this straight at the foot of bloggers. Because they will fucking post any shit. And a teaser trailer is 15 seconds of crap and 20 seconds of ad.
Dude, there was something the other day that was a teaser poster.
I know.
For a poster.
I know.
Oh, fuck.
I know. It drives it. That's one thing I've stated right many times. One thing I will not do on Geek Dimensions or on Cranky Gamers is I will not post teaser trailers. I just will not. I refuse to, because I think it's.
Look, I understand they want to make money. And I understand that they want to keep the franchise in your consciousness until it comes out. But this is just retarded.
It is. You know? It's plain fucking stupid.
It's plain stupid. And any publication, and I don't care whether you are a Mashable or you're a IGN or whatever, any fucking publication that is happily republishing teaser posters and teaser trailers, you're wasting my fucking time. You're wasting my screen real estate.
You're wasting my bandwidth.
News. I don't want a fucking teaser, right? Either give me a trailer or shut the fuck up. Because you're not actually building interest with me.
You're pissing me off.
In fact, all you're doing is pissing me off. Because all I do when I see a teaser, if I watch it, is go, the fuck? That was pointless.
Yeah.
And then I watch the trailer a couple of weeks later, and half the damn trailer is the damn teaser.
Yeah.
And all you've done is annoy me and make me less likely to go to the cinema to watch it. Because the cinema experience is already bad enough. Go in there and sit through 20 minutes of fucking trailers in uncomfortable seats with loud fucking assholes who won't get off their goddamn phones. And even if they have their phones silent, you've got screen glare from all over the damn cinema. I'm paying through my fucking nose for popcorn that is like 4,000 times fucking market value. I just... Ugh. The cinema experience is not good anymore.
No.
All right? So if you want me to part with my cash to watch this thing at home, you do not want to make it so that I have seen 95% of the movie between bloody trailers. And what is this shit they do with trailers, right? They put all the best bits of the movie into a trailer.
Yep.
What's the point in watching it then?
Yeah, especially considering a lot of the movies that are coming out. It's like, I'll watch the movie, I'll watch the trailers and piece it all together, and there's my movie. It's done. Now, just before we because I did mention his name and we.
Is it because it's easy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it easier than going out and actually having cast and directors and stuff do interviews and? Is it easier to do that than to actually build hype?
Well, the one thing I do like is we're seeing a lot more featurettes, which includes, the actors and the directors and some behind-the-scenes stuff.
What I'm thinking is, right, before this, and this really started like in 2012, was when this started to get ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
How did they market movies in the 90s before the internet? And they still made mega bucks in the bloody cinema. People still went and saw them. And all they had was, maybe a 30-second TV spot.
Yeah.
Sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, less is
better.
More.
Yeah. I got to get your reaction to this before we head out, because we mentioned the name. We've mentioned, superhero characters being ruined. What do you think of the idea that Chris Pine would be the next Green Lantern?
No. Look, Chris Pine's not a bad actor. He's Captain Kirk for now. I've seen Chris Pine in other movies, Carriers, stuff like that. I don't know if he has the personality. I think the Green Lantern as a movie franchise is one that will always be fucked.
Yes.
Right? I don't think as a superhero, the Green Lantern has a lot going for him. Right? Or her, or whatever species it happens to be this week. Right? Green Lantern gets his powers from a goddamn ring. Right? So you need somebody with a lot of personality. It's got to be a really personality-driven movie to pull that off. They went too far and fucked it up with Ryan Reynolds. But Chris Pine is not the other way to go. You know what I mean?
What you need is someone like Downey Jr. did with Iron Man and Tony Stark. You need someone like that to do it with Green Lantern.
Yeah, it needs to be a person. See, Iron Man is not about the suit. What makes Iron Man awesome is Tony Stark.
Yes.
Right? Iron Man is all about Tony Stark. Oh, yeah. Right? That is what makes the character, it's what makes the franchise, it's what makes it interesting. He's a brilliant but incredibly flawed human being.
Yep.
Right? And it's personality driven. That's what they need to do with Green Lantern. It needs to be a personality driven thing where the powers are completely secondary to the story.
Yeah.
And you know, with Chris Klein, I mean, he was in Stretch, where he played a complete fucking oddball, and it was probably the best shit he's ever done, and it was weak. Right? Yeah. He does the Captain Kirk thing well because Captain Kirk
is a cardboard character.
Yeah, he doesn't require a lot of acting. No. Right? He doesn't. And he's predefined and he's pre-laid out. So I don't see Chris Klein doing well. Sorry, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Who I mean. Chris Klein is the other, what you call him. But we know who we are speaking of.
Yes.
But I don't see him doing well, Chris Pine, as Green Lantern. Purely because we know what they're going to do with a Green Lantern movie. It's going to be all special effects. It's going to be all superpowers. And that's not what the Green Lantern franchise needs. It's not how you drive that character's story.
Okay, just out of curiosity, who would you think could be?
Look, they have so much leeway with the Green Lantern, right? Because the Green Lantern doesn't even have to be human.
No.
Right? It can...
Right? Doesn't have to be white, doesn't have to be black.
Doesn't have to be white, doesn't have to be black, doesn't have to be male, doesn't have to be female, doesn't even have to be human. Right? They have so much leeway to do something really interesting with the Green Lantern, and they should play with that leeway. Right?
Deal with the universe, not the person.
Deal with the universe, not the person. They could put fucking Vinnie Jones as the Green Lantern. Gareth from fucking
Jon Snow. You know nothing.
Nothing, Jon Snow. But he'd make a better Green Lantern. You know, or you know what? Let's take the Green Lantern. Let's make him older, right? Or her older. I mean, imagine a Green Lantern that was, what's his name? Gets killed in every bloody thing he's ever in.
Sean Bean.
Imagine Sean Bean as the Green Lantern. Right? Why not? It fits the lore. Right?
Yeah.
It fits the lore. His strength doesn't come from his age. It comes from the ring.
Yeah. And his willpower.
Yeah. Right? So why not?
Yeah.
But... instead, they've decided, instead of doing something unusual, what's his name? Oh, you know what? I do, right? I do. I want to see the Green Lantern franchise take stock of the fact that it can be anybody, any age, any sex, any race. Doesn't even have to be human. And if they are going to say, okay, well, we still have to do, like, you know, a white guy who's relatively famous so that we'll make money, I want them to do either I want to see, like, John Malkovich as the Green Lantern.
Wait, what?
John Malkovich, man. I mean, if you play Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, right, John Malkovich is one of the characters, and he's fucking awesome. Right? Speaking of Advanced Warfare, what's his name? House of Cards.
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey! Have fucking fun with it.
Yeah.
right? And these are actors who can both be very, very serious, but can have a lot of fun with things as well.
Yeah.
See, Malkovich in Red, he was awesome.
Awesome. Yes.
Right?
Red 2, he was awesome.
And Red 2 sucked, but he was awesome.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I want to see them do. Let's stop sticking to this goddamn mold. Because there are very few superhero characters out there that you can have this kind of fun with.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can have a different Green Lantern every fucking movie.
Yeah.
And it would be awesome. But
Yeah.
they keep trying to cookie cutter it into the stereotypical blonde hair, blue eyes, has to be a hero, has to be well known.
Has to have abs.
Have to have abs. The Green Lantern doesn't need abs.
You can just make them up.
Just paint them on.
Anyway.
It's ridiculous. I know it'll never happen. But in my geeky mind,
Yes.
I would love to see John Malkovich as the Green Lantern.
And on that note, I think we better call this one to a close, guys. It's like we've gone way over. But it's been fun getting back and doing this. I won't make commitments for future episodes. We will try, but shit happens.
Here next Friday unless Steven dies.
Okay, unless I die, which...
Or I die.
Yes. Which...
And if I die, Steven will still be here.
Yes.
Probably do it with somebody else.
Well, I'll just do it. I'll take a screen cap of you like that and just pretend you're there.
Yes, and just have it like saying inane
shit.
Inane shit, completely ridiculous.
I'll make a bot up to act as you. Yes.
You know what? If you fill the bot full of just information about DC characters, Marvel characters, marketing, computer stuff, and then just have it at the other side of it, just have a completely random word generator that is completely ridiculous, and just pair the two together, you could probably easily replace me.
But on that note, folks,
that would work, and I could sell it to my clients.
There you go. It's a different way of cloning yourself, I guess. Anyway, thank you for being here. Thank you, Paul, for this today. This has been awesome. I actually really enjoyed this. It was a lot of fun. But that is this edition of GeekD Podcast. Thank you for being here. We will see you next week. But remember, keep it geek.